Hey everyone. So I've been meaning to come on and make a quick video about parasitic energies and how negative energies can try to attach to you in such everyday situations and you don't even realize it. And a lot of people just don't realize it. It's because they don't understand the way energy works and the fact that everything is energy, including you. And so it's really important in times like this to kind of protect yourself, because there's so much negative energy and fear and just toxicity floating around. And especially with social media and just being able to just scroll through and just all of a sudden, like, for example, watch a video and your whole emotions can change just watching, like, a video of maybe like somebody, a military father returning home to his family and they haven't seen his kids in months and months and months. Like, just understand that your emotions are what that war is about right now. That war that between the elite and the unconscious, basically the masses that don't even understand really how the world works, because they've been put into this program to think that this is the way the world works. Everybody's supposed to go to school, they're supposed to go to work, and everybody kind of just does what they're told to do. They don't question anything. They don't think, maybe there's a better way of doing things. Maybe there's a better way of managing the economy so it's not such a huge income gap and inequality in the upper class and lower class and even middle class. Really, it's 1% who, everybody knows this. I don't even have to go into that rant. But the point I'm trying to make is that the war that's really happening here is about energy. It's a spiritual war. It's an energetic war. And I don't even like using the word war, but at the end of the day, it's between the light and the dark energies. And right now, the light, there's nothing to worry about, because the light is so much more powerful than the dark. And the reason all of these shadows and all of these pedophile rings and all of the toxicity and all these truths are coming to the surface now is because the light is shining on it. It's exposing it. All the cockroaches, you turn the light on and they're scurrying and holding on for dear life, trying to keep this new world order timeline going and flowing. But that's not going to happen. But we can help that in maintaining a higher vibration. And how do we do that? We stay away from things that make us fearful. We stay away from anything that makes us not feel good. There's a reason why I've always been turned off to like scary movies, or like, how people will like post videos on Facebook of other people fighting, and that's somehow a form of entertainment. I cannot watch that type of stuff. I can't even watch it, let alone even consider participating in something like that, because it just, like, I've gotten to the point where I've learned how to raise my vibration to such a level that I can't do it. Like, I'll look at it and it just sits so uneasy in my body. It doesn't resonate with me, right? And now that I'm conscious and I'm aware that how I feel is the most important thing, it's the top priority. People always say, what do you want in life? You want to be happy. Well, people don't understand what happiness is, and they don't understand it's how you feel on the inside. So like doing more things, doing things that you love, that's what's going to raise your vibration. That's what's going to make you feel good. That's what's going to help everyone and everything around you. Why? Because your energy, their energy, everything going on holds a certain energy. Okay? Even planet Earth has its own energetic field. It's a consciousness. Oh, I want to go so deep right now, but I feel like that's for another video, because you could go on and on and on about how literally when we first came here, we started in the first dimension. And if you look into the law of one, you'll learn all about this stuff. If anybody's first dipping their feet into spirituality, check out the law of one, because it really helps you understand what incarnation is, what the different dimensions are, how we're energy and everything's energy, and how that interconnects and stuff. So for instance, when we come and we first have our experience on Earth, a lot of times people will go into past life regressions and remember being a rock. They'll remember being a flower. They'll remember being all these things. Because let's see, a rock is the first dimension. considered within the first dimension. If you guys want to learn more about this, what is his name? Aaron something. He talks about the law of one. Just YouTube law of one and then type in Aaron. And I can't remember his last name. I think it starts with a B. But he really breaks it down really well. And I'll post it below if I can remember to do that. If somebody can remind me in the comments. But anyways, he talks about the different densities and how you can and how the second density is now living things like trees and flowers and grass, and people literally experience lifetimes as those things. And people don't understand incarnation. They're like, oh, I'll come back as a bird or a dog. Like, yeah, like, no, because you wouldn't digress like that. If you're a human now, you probably already were a bird or a dog, because that is very second dimensional. A really cool example of understanding this is like, okay, a dog is considered kind of like 2D merging into the third dimension, because think about when we domesticate dogs, we give them a name. We're giving them this identity. So they're merging from like just being this living thing and being present and just doing what it organically does, like grows or is part of the food chain, so it dies at a certain point. And it's just like they don't have to think about much, right? In the second dimension. When you come into the third dimension, now so a lot of dogs will then become humans after they have like those lifetimes of forming that identity. Now, if this sounds so crazy to you, just really understand how life is infinite. You are infinite. You always were, and you always will be. And what the universe is just you. Everything, when they say everything is one, you are the universe. It just means it's the consciousness choosing to experience itself as you, just like it needed to experience itself as a flower and the water and a dog and a dinosaur maybe at one point, and whatever, in every way that consciousness in the universe can experience itself, it's going to. Why? Because that's how it expands infinitely, by having that many perceptions on how everything works. It's all infinite, okay? And so when you realize all of these things, you start to understand that you need to protect your energy in order to continue this growth process that you're going through, in order to really truly understand who you are. Harness that higher vibration so you're able to live heaven on earth. Stay in high, happy vibrations, love vibrations. Experience what true love really is. Because I can't even tell you how many times I've experienced love in my life, and I didn't even know that I hadn't even scratched the surface of what love is. Because once you start to scratch the surface of what love truly is, you realize all those other times were just things to teach you lessons. And we're grateful and we appreciate that to grow. But then you start taking your energy and how you exchange it with other people very, very seriously. And not because you're afraid, because you have so much respect for yourself and you want to be the highest version of who you are, that you wouldn't just expose yourself to anything or anyone. Okay, so I have two common scenarios that kind of play out in terms of like when there's things attached to other people and they're kind of like seeking out your light so they can leech off of you. So I'm going to give you a few examples so then you can kind of be more conscious of it in your life. And so the first one I'm going to give you is about when people try to become close or like intimate with you. And it doesn't have to be like physically intimate, although it can be. And I'll touch on that in a second. But it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be anyone, okay? And usually there's an ulterior motive, and that motive is to leech off of your energy. But the person doesn't know most of the time that they have demonic attachments, negative energies or entities that are trying to feed. They just have these karmic cycles that they keep repeating. We all have had stuff attached to us, and we've all been in toxic relationships where we've exposed people to our toxic energy too. So this isn't like, oh, there's toxic people out there and blah, blah. You were toxic, we were all toxic, and until we stop these crazy karmic cycles, we're still in some ways we can negatively attach or attack other people too, unconsciously. That's what they mean by being asleep. Like, when they say people are asleep, they aren't conscious of their own shit. They're not conscious of these karmic patterns that they keep playing out in their lives, okay? So they just keep playing out and playing out. They have something attached to them, and they haven't done the healing work to get it off. And this could be passed from your family. These could be patterns passed from your family. For instance, like, my parents were both married many of times. My dad was married 3 times, my mom was married 4 times, and then I went and I got married multiple times because I was carrying that. And now I'm to a point in my life where after, you know, I went through my divorce and everything like that with my husband, it's like, I know I could be with someone for the rest of my life and never marry them and have the most blissed out, amazing heaven on earth experience ever, because I've released that attachment to that was passed down to me through my DNA, right? And it's just like, everything is so much more deep than you realize, but we're very distracted by surface level shit. That's why this whole virus and this whole shut everything down so everyone can be in their own space and not be so freaking distracted by everything around them. Like, you're not distracted by running, your kids here and your kids there, everybody's home. And only certain people can go out, right? We can't just go sit at the bar and ignore our wife because we hate our life and we don't like want to be home. Like, we can't do any of those things right now. So everybody's kind of facing their stuff, right? So anyways, back to what I was talking about. When you release your own karma and demons, it's because you're choosing to heal. Like, you're choosing to do this, and then you'll have more self-respect. You'll notice when these things are happening to you, and you'll be able to raise your vibration through not participating in toxic activity unconsciously, which is what most of us have done in our sleep life, okay? So a common example of this is like high school girls and their little cliques. And so they'll get all close and intimate, but the thing about it is, like, most of the time those interactions are very ego based. They want to be with the popular girl, the pretty girl, the smart girl, whatever it is, whatever that clique is based off of. And people they open up, they share certain things, and then everybody in that group, because nobody's really genuine. I'm not saying you can't have genuine cliques in high school. I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about, like the mean girls. And so everyone's feeling exposed and vulnerable, and then completely unsupported because nobody's being genuine. And then a lot of times people walk away from those types of situations with attachments to them, and then they carry them through their entire life. These insecurities, these feelings of abandonment, these feelings of like, wow, I can't open up to people. I have to build a whole huge wall up because last time I opened up to somebody, then I got no support, and I just put myself out there to get made fun of, or whatever the case is. You can fill in the blanks. This happens, it is so many different situations. Another example of this, people will schmooze their way in because they want to have casual sex, or they'll agreeingly have casual sex. When you exchange energetic like in terms of like physical contact with somebody, you exchange energy when you do that. Sex is a form of energetic exchange. It's like really getting close, like opening up and being vulnerable with somebody. And when you do that with somebody you barely know and you have no genuine connection with, and nobody even has any intention of being genuine, that can really, really expose you to things. And so many of us, and I mean, I was guilty of this in college and stuff, like just having casual sex, and then why do you think that we feel so shitty about it? Even years and years in the future, we regret that stuff. We think back to how we felt afterwards. We think back to like, and it's still sitting with us. It's still sitting in our freaking, and blocking our chakras and stuff. All these like negative energies that we've picked up along the way, they clog up our chakras. And so then the energy can't flow. That healing energy can't flow through our bodies the way it needs to, you know? And so I'm not bashing casual sex, because if you are two high vibrational beings and you happen to meet each other and you really feel genuine connection, go for it. Like, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I am saying be very, very careful, because oftentimes if someone's willing to have sex so quickly, it means because they have something attached to them that's trying to, you know, leech on to someone else. And it's like these codependent issues. It's a million different things that need healed. Because you'll wait, if you respect yourself I'm not saying there's not exceptions to this, but I'm saying 9 times out of 10, most people who are in a healthy spiritual space, they want genuine connection before they exchange energy with someone, because they respect their own energy. And you don't just exchange that with anybody. So just be careful is what I'm saying. I'm not judging anyone. We've all been in all of these situations. We're not here to judge. We're here to observe. And then once we spot our own shit, or we spot other people's shit, then we can operate from a place of integrity, in terms of not just how we interact with the other person, but integrity within our own selves, how we treat our own selves. Because how you treat yourself is how you treat others, and how others will treat you. And if others are treating you badly, then you, by default, by staying in a situation where others treat you badly, are treating yourself badly. So it all comes full circle. Like, everything you can bring back to you in a choice you've made, okay? And if you do have situations in the past or something that are still holding on to you, there's a million ways to release that energy and heal yourself. And first, you got to recognize it. The biggest thing is just recognizing it, and then using your free will to want to release it. Okay, so second common scenario that where you interact with somebody and something attached to them tries to leech off of you, okay? A person intentionally tries to cross your boundaries, okay? Attempts to provoke you in some way. And it can even be very passive aggressive, which oftentimes it is. Okay, so example of this is like a family member who sees life very differently from you. They want to debate you like a family function. And even if they don't say in our way, like, come on, let's debate this, they'll just keep bringing up like subjects that you know are somewhat confrontational or you disagree with, right? And even though you might have the most amazing thing to share, you know when somebody ain't going to change their mind, or when you know it's just going to be a debate and go back and forth, you know that. Like, your intuition will tell you that if you're connected, okay? And so if you lash out, you lower your vibration, and that just allows things to attach to you when you lower your vibration. If you're standing in the light, things cannot touch you, okay? So in this example, like, even if you don't lash out, okay, and you just engage in a little calm debate, that's still risky. And I'll tell you why. Because you might have regrets, like, I could have said this, could have said that, or you'll keep thinking about it after you leave the dinner party or whatever. You're just like, oh, like, I wish I just wouldn't have said anything at all. And you know the easiest way to handle those types of situations is just politely decline, change the subject, maintain your peace and your high vibration. You will never regret that decision. You'll never regret it. And you can stay in this nice, neutral place of peace. Like, that's all you have to do. I promise. I have notes here because I don't want to forget anything. I had to come out here and hide in the truck. My kids still tried to come out and get me. Even if Lance is in there, they'll try to escape the house and find me. That's how kids are with their moms. They try to be crazy. Okay, let me make sure I didn't forget anything on this, and then I'm gonna offer you guys some solutions and insight on how to like handle these types of situations. Okay, I think I got everything. All right, so solutions. Be aware, but be at peace, okay? Be in this beautiful neutral area, okay? Because like sometimes people are like, okay, I'm aware and it's like in my space, then what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you are gonna have to set very firm but healthy, peaceful boundaries, okay? Peaceful boundaries. It's not always easy for somebody who's not used to setting boundaries to then go ahead and set boundaries. Because A, they're either too aggressive, so it's not a peaceful boundary, like, get out of here, you're toxic. Like, you don't want to like bring that out of somebody because it will affect you too. What you put out, you'll feel that back, come back to you. And then there's some people who are so used to not setting boundaries that it's very uncomfortable for them to start doing that. And that's really coming up for a lot of people too, because when you have to make big life decisions, setting boundaries with people, especially family members, is usually a huge freaking part of it. And it's not easy when your mom has been telling you what to do your whole life, or everybody has a freaking opinion in your family on how you should do things or operate, or their opinion about whatever, okay? And also, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you when you're standing in the light. So if you just keep your peace in all situations, keep your calm. Think about that person where there's like a car accident and everybody's freaking out because the person really got hurt. And then there's that calm person who comes in and they're the helpers. I love that. Who was the guy who said, was it Mr. Rogers who said, always look for the helpers, because those are the people that are high vibe and they're keeping their calm and they're in there and like they're so connected. They're so connected that they can keep the calm and hold the light for everyone else who's in the chaos, right? And bring the wisdom and the insight and the knowledge and whatever, maybe medical attention in that specific situation. Because you can't, when your mind is chaotic and your body's feeling chaotic, you can't bring forward anything that's going to be helpful, because your vibration is chaos. You have to be at peace and then act. That's why when you're in like a personal relationship and someone's triggering you, whether it's your partner or your mother or whoever, and they're triggering you, the worst thing you could do is react and lash out. The best thing you could do is walk away, ground yourself, find your peace, and then once you're connected to source, your intuition can come in and give you whatever insight you need to hear. Should I say anything? Should I not say anything? Should I walk away? What should I do? The answers will be dealt to you if you can keep your peace. Okay. And just remember, when you operate in truth and integrity, your intuition will make choices so clear and easy for you. And that just came through me again. So that's just validation. I wrote it down too. Your intuition will come through if you can just maintain that peace and not let others bring your vibration down. Bring out, like, you'll see it because you'll see yourself wanting to react in a certain way. An unconscious person will just react. They do not think. They don't see themselves. They don't see their own crap. They keep repeating toxic cycles. A person who has done some healing work will not, they will not lash out. They'll go ground themselves and then they'll connect and then they act or speak or whatever. Okay? Also, I just want to reiterate this. I know I touched on this in the beginning, but most people who have demonic, karmic, or parasitic attachments are very unconscious. They do not realize their patterns. They do not realize the toxicity. They don't realize they treat others poorly. They don't realize they're treating themselves poorly by acting the way they act. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like they're depressed, they're angry, they're all these things, and they just keep repeating these cycles and they think that's who they are, but it's not. Something's attached to them and they need to release it. And this is the part of spirituality that got so freaking lost in religion. There's a lot of truths in religion. There's a lot of truths in all religions. But the main message that people need to understand is it's about your own individual healing. And as you heal, because we are so connected to everything around us, because we're all energy, when you heal, you're healing everyone else. And people have a hard time understanding that in such a linear 3D way, because when you have a higher vibration, your field is all around you. It's like a big somewhat of a circle around you. You can research if you want to know more about it. It's not exactly a circle, but if you want to picture in that way, you have a field, an energetic field. That's why people who can see auras, like people emit different colors and everything according to, it says things about them, right? It says certain things about them. So when you interact with toxicity, it affects you, but not in a good way. But when you keep spreading that light and interacting with others, but from a place of integrity and in a place that serves your highest good and their highest good, you're affecting others in such a profound way. When you're not even hanging out with other people or sharing ideas with other people, and you're just healing at home by yourself in your own space and really figuring out not just the knowledge, but how to implement it into your life. That's all well and good if we can know all of these things about healing and spirituality, new age spirituality and all that. But if you can't actually incorporate it into your life and become a different person and create those changes for yourself, it doesn't mean anything. But once you know more, I mean, the momentum's going in a good direction. So you'll eventually get there, even if you get stuck. a lot of truthers get stuck. They get stuck on the conspiracy theories, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They're not wrong. A lot of them are very right. Some of them aren't. I don't know. Like, I don't really dig into a lot of that stuff anymore because I understand it's beyond that. The solution is beyond that. But that serves its purpose because we have to be conscious of the problem. I was talking to, shout out to my best friend Colette. I was talking to her earlier about being aware of the problem, but not focusing on it for too long. Be aware of the problem, know what it is, and then be able to bounce back, because the solution is where we want to focus. When you focus on the problem, what do you get? More of the problem. When you focus on the solution, what do you get? Solutions. And here's the thing that people have a hard time with, because it's a 5D way of looking at things. It's hard for a asleep mind to understand this, but when you raise your vibration, when how you feel is so good on a consistent basis, you impact everything around you. That's why in mass meditations, the crime goes down. In cities where they do mass meditation, they've done studies on this. And that's just the thing. That's how powerful our energy is. And so all you have to do is feel as good as you possibly can. You don't feel good about something, you better change up what you're doing. Go do something that makes you feel happy. Go spend time with your kids. Go paint. Go shoot hoops. Go work out. Whatever you have to do right now, it's kind of limiting, but use your imagination. Get creative. Bring in the feminine energy. Our entire culture has been just like created off this masculine energy, and right now we're trying to bring in this self-nurturing, healing energy, feminine energy, and it is for all. So yeah, these people don't consciously know that they're doing these things, and it's not our job to be like, you're toxic, this is what your attachment is, blah 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 blah. No, don't even get caught up in reacting to them or trying to diagnose them when you don't really know. You're just making your own little observations and assumptions. Judging people will never get us anywhere, because they're just a different aspect of the universe trying to experience itself in a different way. What helps everybody is understanding people who are toxic, loving them for who they are, and understanding that's just where they are in their journey. Setting healthy, proper boundaries with those people, because we don't serve ourselves by interacting with them too much. Because you get that's why they say that you are who your friends are. Because why? Because you're all hanging out in the same energy. And just catch yourself. Catch yourself judging people. That's the hardest one. It's so easy to judge because we live in that judgmental culture where everybody has this expectation to live a certain way. So, and be a certain way and make a lot of money and do whatever it is, be glamorous and whatever, you know? And at the end of the day, like, as much as we disagree or don't resonate with somebody else's views or ways of living, that's where they are in their journey. Send them love and light. Be on your way. Create healthy boundaries. Figure out a way to gently give a message, to gently, like, that's all my YouTube channel is me trying to deliver a message in a gentle and loving way to help raise the consciousness of everyone, everything around me, because that's what I came here to do. And it took me a long time to realize what my purpose was. But once you're doing it, like, I've been on YouTube like a little over a year, and I'm fastly approaching 2,000 followers or subscribers or whatever. I don't even care about that stuff. That's why I'm not on YouTube every day posting a video, because to me it's not about likes and subscribers. Why did I randomly just get, all I did was, I didn't even promote my video other than on my Instagram. I haven't really like obsessed over it, trying to make it something, trying to force and bring the ego in. Why is it working out for me? It's working out for me because I'm aligned with source. I'm doing what I was called here to do. When you're in alignment and you're vibing high, everything's always working out for you. I'm telling you right now, it effortlessly falls into place. So that work so hard and grind to make things happen, that is a false premise. People who make things happen, it's because their soul is set on fire to do it. Like Gary Vee, who talks about like, go out and get things done. You want to know why he's so successful? He fucking loves what he does. He loves what he does. And he actually raises consciousness in such a unique way. He's a woke individual in a different way. Like, he's not in terms of like the healing spiritual way, but he is in a different way. And if you can implement that type of, like, a lot of people love that. A lot of men love that, like, grind and get things done. If you can combine that masculine energy with the feminine energy, which is self-nurturing, true to yourself, operating with integrity, not just making a business because you see that there's a spiritual awakening going on and you can make money off of it. A lot of people, they try to see what's popping and then make money off of it. And let me tell you right now, a lot of those people are going to be dropping like flies because that ego is going to show through, and the true light workers are going to be the one delivering the messages in their own unique ways because they're connected to source, and people can resonate with that because they can feel the genuineness of somebody and the disingenuousness of somebody from a mile away. People are waking up. They can smell the bullshit from a mile away, whether it's these stupid ass chip vaccines that they think that we're going to consent to. Come on, even asleep people smell that bullshit from a mile away. And it's just going to become more and more, and people are waking up, and it's a beautiful thing. So to just bring everything full circle, the purpose of this video is to protect your energy, stand in your sovereignty. When you're standing in the light, nothing can touch you, not a virus, nothing can freaking touch you when you're standing in the light. So release that fear. Release the fear of death because you're infinite. Release the fear of death because your parent is infinite. I just found out some news about somebody being sick, and it's just like hard to be sad when you know how the universe works. It's sad because like maybe one day soon you won't interact with that person in a physical way, and you were close to them, right? But then you realize that it just makes you want to go harder on this spiritual journey, because the more connected you get, the more you open up your gifts, the more you'll still be able to communicate with them in this life. Because we're all psychic. We are all psychic, and we're just closed off to it. And then we're gradually opening ourselves up like that lotus flower into all of the gifts that we all have, all of the power that we all harness. It's there. It's there for the taking. But you have to release all the programming. You have to not let the rest of the world tell you how to live your life. You have to see through the bullshit. And you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. But anyways, you guys like one fingernail missing? And I'm hiding from my kids. Good Lord, I'm a hot mess. I am, but I'm not. I'm that person who puts on a nice shirt but still has sweatpants on because I'm going back inside and I just want to make a quick video. And I ain't afraid to share that with you. But anyways, I love you guys. Definitely didn't mean for this to be 33 minutes long, but it is what it is.